Nothing's broken yet. Oh, this is happening right now. Wait a second. Bill, I can't. If you're talking, Bill, I cannot hear you.
Oh, my bad. My mic was muted.
Okay.
Sorry about that. This whole time, I did you not hear a single word that I said?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess it's working now. Do you want to check? Do you want to check out the stream real quick and see if the sound for both of us is working?
Yeah, I'll check it. I know that it's working, at least for me, because I opened Twitch after I connected to the voice call. And it taught me like the first couple things I said in my last stream, because it just auto started playing my last shit. So,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I can hear us both.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so hopefully we'll not have audio issues. So far we haven't had any, and if so, we could use this in the future and not have to deal with the terrible robot voices and everything. And I guess it's just a matter of like the processing speed or whatever.
If only I knew computer stuff, then I could give some sort of response.
Yeah. So yeah, I think OBS might work a little bit better because I think it like singles out programs a bit more or something. Like maybe it's a bit more streamlined, but I don't know. We'll just have to see. So okay, so how should we go over these? I guess you could have the stream on, and well, I guess you'd be a little behind if you did that.
I do currently have the stream up so that I can monitor the chat.
So yeah, I'm wondering how can we be in sync on seeing the logs is the main thing. I guess I could just share them. I could share my screen on Discord as well. If that's not going to ruin the quality.
Yeah, my fear there is that that's going to ruin the quality.
Well, let's give it a shot.
Okay.
Because I feel like that's going to be a lot easier so that there's no delay or anything. Because it's going to be so hard to sync it up when we'd like to have to press the play button at the same time for each log and so on. So if this works, then that'd be great.
Okay. Now I have both streams up now.
Yeah,
like
I don't know if you need to worry about looking at the chat. I can actually I'll open up my phone here just so I can see if there's anyone in the chat, and it'll be easier because it's not like I have to respond or have to like make a move or anything.
That I'm just gonna leave it up so it looks like you have a follower at the very least. Or
Okay.
I am your follower, but if my potato starts breaking down, then I'll close the Twitch stream.
Hold on a second. How do I get to my own thing? I need to follow myself to make this easier. Jeez. Because my own thing doesn't appear here. Oh, okay.
So the goal, while Bill is figuring this out, part of the goal of this is to figure out what mistakes I made during these two pretty bad games in Jade Room, and also to identify how the other players are playing. I have a bad habit of only focusing on my play while I play, and usually to negative effect.
Right. Oh, I'm hearing my own voice here. Did you have the sound on for a second?
Not just I did like a couple minutes ago, but not right now.
Oh, I wonder what that was about. Anyway, I'm not hearing it anymore. Yeah, what I was just going to say was that I was watching these games. I don't feel like you made major errors, aside from like when you were like tilting a bit. which led to like some like like the one deal and that was like a Mangan. But aside from that, I don't feel like you made any mistakes that I was aware of. But maybe, I'm sure we can learn something just from seeing it. I feel like for me, what's interesting is seeing how players play in Jade in general, and just seeing like you were saying, you think they get to Tenpai to Ishan 10 by the end of row 1 and that sort of stuff. What is the sort of state of the game as it proceeds?
Yeah, and I think those are going to be some overarching objectives. The main thing to take note of just from me here, Bill, is that I'm probably frequently going to ask you what's in Toyman's hand. Is because it's really hard to read. Can you turn the numbers off? Actually, I feel like maybe while playing the numbers are good if people aren't used to reading mahjong tiles. But for Toyman, they like cover up half of the characters, and I think that's part of what's making it hard for me to read. Go to other. It's either preference or other. It's one of the two.
Okay, there we go. It's this one. Hold on, how do I? Can only be set at home. Well, okay. I could. Should I go? Should I back out?
It's not worth it.
It's not worth
it. We've already been on for 5 minutes just talking about bullshit. Okay. We should get into it.
Yeah. So, but I can say what's in Toyman's hand right now. It's 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 8, 1, 1, 4, 4, 4. It's starting out with a really great hand, actually.
All right, they started out with they basically talking about players being Ishan 10 by the end of the first row. I mean, they practically started Ishan 10.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I guess it's 2 Shanten because they only have 4 blocks.
Well, they've got. Oh, hold on. I think it's 2 away because it's 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, and then so they've got 2 full blocks here and a pair 7. 8. I guess they don't have. Yeah, they would need to draw something next to the 6 to be in 2 away, but it's like a pseudo 2 away basically.
Well, no. If they draw something next to the 6, they'll be Ishan 10.
Right. Yeah. So I guess they are 2 away. Yeah. Saying because they've got 2 sequences.
So they've started out with a great hand. Meanwhile, Kami and Shimo both on the left and the right respectively have started out with pretty crappy hands. Well, I guess not totally crappy, but not great either. My hand certainly looks better than theirs does.
Yeah, although this 6, 7, 8 here is nice, and this that's basically it. And yeah, having all these honors over here, this looks like garbage. So yeah, how should we go? Should I just press the play button and we wait until we might want to stop, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think let's hit the play button and we'll see if there's any particularly interesting moves from either me or my opponents. We could have each of us focus on 2 players to make it a little bit easier for us to watch them.
Yeah. Toyman's got 2 easts now.
So now they're Ishan 10.
Yeah.
And can open up on those easts.
Yeah, and I wonder if they would even want to. Yeah, they do. Because it's 2 Han. Maybe if it was only 1 Han, they wouldn't. And would wait for like a Ricci. I would be questioning that if it was me. If I was in a really good Ishan 10 so early, if I want to open or if I should wait for the tile.
So let's linger over that for a second. I wonder if will you pause it?
I did pause it.
Oh, you did? Oh god. I started watching the Twitch stream because the quality's slightly better and totally forgot that I had Discord up so that we would be in time with each other. Yeah, so that what I'm interested in here, well, I guess I'm interested in this play specifically, but here, I mean, they're Tenpai. Where is everyone else? I mean, Kami has only drawn and discarded honors. I mean, their draws have been horrific.
Right, yeah.
Right. So Kami is 2 away, I think. Might even be 3 away. Their hand is so bad.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. It kind of looks good at a glance, but definitely not if you look any closer. And over here we've got 3, 4... Yeah, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this is still... Both of them are looking kind of for the end of the first row. This one is not as bad, but... Yeah, they...
and maybe something to note here, moving forward, is that their entire first rows, both of them are almost all on tiles.
Yeah.
Um, my hand and Toyman has progressed a lot more, and we did not have near as many honor tiles as either of the others did.
Yeah, and that's the thing that can be deceptive, because it really depends on how good your hand was to begin with. But yeah, definitely, it's definitely not scary to see that someone has only discarded honors. Alright, so should we go forward?
Well, I guess I still have two more questions for thinking about here. So the first is, what do we make? Like, when we are playing, they called the double east, and then obviously whenever you make a call, you discard from your hand. Like, your hand has advanced in some way, maybe just sideways, stance-in wise, but you're always discarding from your hand after a call. So they sumo giri, they discard from their hand when they make the call, and then they sumo giri twice more.
Right.
Like, should that be a signal to us that they are Tenpai, or at the very least, should we take them to be Ishanten at this point, since they've called and then sumo giri twice?
So, I feel like there's not much information you can gain from this, because it relies on knowing, like, well, the fact that they called the East and they're the dealer, that makes me think it's a little ambiguous what state their hand is in at the time they called it, because they might have called it when they were like 3 away, just because they really want to keep their turns dealer, and it's not that much of a sacrifice just to call the East. Maybe that is outside of the meta. I'm not sure about that, but that's how I would feel about it.
All right,
but
I'm gonna. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, what was I going to say? Yeah. So basically they improved their hand for like a few turns, and they called something, and then they threw away a couple tiles they drew that were terminals. And I feel like from this we could guess maybe their hand, they might have moved sideways on some of the tiles that they drew into their hand, or they may not have. They threw away 8, 8, and 7, and those are like that may be a better sign, I think. Tiles that are like the 8, the 8, and the 7, that's like such a good shape. And they were all thrown from inside the hand. That may be a very good indication of being an Ishanten or being an Intenpai, because like why would you throw them away and not keep them?
And I guess one little subtlety here when you're thinking about what's coming out of the hand and what's being discarded from the wall is the 8, 8, and the 7 weren't necessarily, like from our perspective as the player, weren't necessarily all in their hand at the same time. Just because they all came out of the hand. Like, they could have had the 7, 8 and discarded the 8, then drew another 8, or had a pair of 8s and discarded the first 8 and then drew the 7, something like that.
Yeah.
But still, I think your point still stands on the whole. Like. Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. I think it's very unlikely that there wasn't some good shape that was thrown away there. Although there probably is some combination of events that could lead to it.
So then I'm going to ask you to do something very annoying, which is I want you to hit play, and then after their next discard, I want you to hit pause again, and I'm going to ask you the exact same question about Tenpai and Ishanten that I just asked.
Okay. Oh, and they con. I wondered if they were going to con. They con because they're in Tenpai, right?
Right. And
okay.
And I think that's something that we have to that we as a player kind of need to notice. They con, and then they sumo giri the 5-peen. They're almost certainly in Tenpai now. Like, I think in Jade Room you're not going to see a lot of 3 Shanten cons, and probably not a lot of 2 Shanten cons either.
Yeah. And yeah, in this situation, like, it's very scary because like you don't know what they have. They might have Dora or something. If they get up to 4 Han, then you're dead. Like, that's a death sentence. So, I mean, not an East to 1 necessarily, but still 12,000 points is a lot. So yeah, they very easily could have 4 Han from Dora or from Honitsu or something. Because these discards, they don't especially look like Honitsu, but they could be, ending with the 5-pin like that.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, and in this case, they do have 2 Dora, and with that con, like, it's very likely that they could have 1 or 2 Dora, and they could have a red 5 or anything. So it's like, I feel like this is a terrifying situation to be in, and when you have this really good hand here, that could also reach Mangan, because it's got, yeah, this, like, if you get a bit of luck, and you do a
yeah, if I got into Tenpai on the 18, then I also would have a Mangan, because I would have Richi, Dora 2, and Pinfu. So it would be almost a Mangan Rond, and 50, or I guess Sumo it'd be 5 Han, so it would absolutely be a Mangan Sumo. But still, this is dealer we're talking about, 8,000 points, 12,000 points.
Yeah.
So I should probably fold at the very, maybe try and maintain Tenpai. I don't know what I actually did, but I hope I discarded the queen.
Yeah, I feel like this situation is very difficult. If you were to draw the 8-pin right now to Richi or not to Richi on the 2-5 weight, the fact that, yeah, like, that's, I feel like, yeah, that if we've guessed that the dealer is in Tenpai already, maybe it is better to just fold and let someone else deal into it. Or maybe not. Like, this is, I think that this push-fold situation may be a bit borderline. Even though they're the dealer, you don't know for sure that they're in Tenpai, that they have a good weight, that they have 2 Dora or anything. So, so yeah, I feel like you could kind of go either way if you're an aggressive player or a defensive player. Maybe it can go either way. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's fair, especially since Arichi gives you a chance at Ura, and the dealer cannot improve their hand with Ura at this point.
Oh yeah, and yeah, the 2 cons, that is some Richi bait right there. So yeah, but only if you draw the 8-pin basically, like, or I guess if you draw the 4-pin also. Well, no. Yeah, I guess if you draw the 4-pin and move things around, yeah.
It has to be the 18 basically for pushing to really be reasonable.
But you could draw the 4-pin, drop the 9, and then drop the 1s to get some things from somewhere else, etc., etc. But by that time the game is over. So yeah, you kind of need to draw the 8.
So let's see what went down here.
Okay. North. So I wonder, is this person folding or not, or are they gonna push? Oh, I guess we don't get to see.
There was already one north. No, there were already 2 norths discarded. So
yeah.
And then the 2-pin was Suji.
Yeah. I wonder if they were throwing away that north as their as their safe tile, or did they just draw it? Or if they were treating it as a safe tile. But
it was Sumo Yuri. Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable safe toss since there's already 2 gone.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was just wondering, was that an indication that they were folding, that they didn't keep it as a safe tile, that they just immediately threw it away? But anyway, let's go forward. I remember this hand.
Yeah, I remember this hand too. The only thing I really remember about it though is that I don't win it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, pause here.
Yeah, we should look at the hands, right?
Shimo had 2-5-9 in the Mon tiles, and their first discard was the 5 Mon. Chanta.
Yeah.
They're going for Chanta. They have started out the hand with 5 Chanta blocks with the 1-2-8-9, 1-2 so, and then 2 south and 2 west. So that's what they're up to.
Yeah, this 5. I think this could also indicate Chitoi. It could also indicate Kokshi. But it indicates something weird going on, or Honitsu.
So that's a good thing to look out for.
So yeah.
Dealer.
Yeah. They throw away
2-3-8.
They threw away the 9 from the 8-9. That's interesting. Well, I guess they prefer the 3-6 over the Penchon, or they just want to get rid of the Penchon.
It looks like It looks like they're just getting rid of the pinch on. I mean, they have 5 blocks in their hand. Once again, the dealer got dealt a pretty good hand here. They have 5 blocks.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
And so I imagine they'll open on a tune if they get it.
I wondered, when you have 6/6 south south chun chun, so many pairs, do all of them still count as blocks? Really, like?
Technically,
because I would almost think
it doesn't feel like it.
I would almost think if I have an 8/9, I could just drop the souths, if the souths are not really doing anything for me. And hope to draw a 7 and draw next to the 3/6.
One of the reasons I tend to keep the guest wind pairs is because they're kind of an unobstructive pair in a way. Like those 6-0, like I want to keep that pair of 6-0 not because I'm thinking of them as a pair, but just because it's so easy for that to become a really good complex 3-tile shape.
Right.
And so, like, even though the 6-0 is technically a pair, I'm thinking of it as something really that's going to grow into a really strong shape with a draw.
Right.
And so then, if I'm thinking about calling the tunes, and I'm thinking about the 6-0 turning into a strong 3-tile complex shape, then I'm favoring the souths over the 8/9 because the souths then are the only thing that I'm planning on keeping as a pair.
Right. And yeah, so that's a good point, that like if you drop the one south, you have to drop the other one. If you drop the 1/6, you don't have to drop the other 6. So I feel like that's kind of what you were saying.
Yeah, I think that's an implication of what I was saying for sure.
But anyway, so that makes sense. I'm wondering if I guess like if you were going to drop a pair, you could just drop the 6 basically. If you wanted to keep that over wanted to keep the pinch on over that, and then say, well, I'm going to draw next to something, and maybe I'll draw the 7 and keep the pinch on, or maybe I'll draw something over here. This seems like an interesting case for efficiency. But anyway, maybe we should look at this hand over here.
Yeah, they've got garbage once again. Poor I feel so bad for Kami.
Yeah, speaking of Penjon, look at this. 2/2, 5/5, 7. Well, they've got. I mean, they could go Chitoi for 3 pairs.
They've got 3 pairs.
Yeah. If this were me, honestly, I might go Chitoi just because I don't see what else. I might go Chitoi thinking it could become. I don't know. Like maybe I drop the 5 ping. And see if something develops on the outside. Just because, like, it's probably much more likely that you'll draw a bunch of stuff in the middle than that something like that will happen. But I'm not a good player. But anyway, should we go forward?
Yeah, I think so. And it's pretty obvious what's going on with my hand. I mean, I've got Dora prevalent end, so I've got Dora Yaku high, so I'm kind of just hanging around waiting to call those.
Oh, and yeah, that all those middle discards could also be like Chanta.
Yeah, they started off with 3 middle discards from 3 different suits.
Oh, then a 9. So now they're dropping the souths up there.
Yeah, let's pause there, I think.
Yeah, so
if like looking at, so I think there's some interesting things going on with the movements of Hoyman's, of the dealer's hand, and of Shimo on the right, because so dealer, who I guess we're always the most scared of, discarded the 3 peen from the hand and then discarded the south from the hand on turn 8. That's really late to be tossing a guest wind. And so like at this point we don't see that it was a pair, but that feels like the dropping of a safe tile. So I think me as a player, if I'm paying attention to the fact that that 3 peen came out of the hand and that south came out of the hand, I feel like I have to think that the dealer is Tenpai, or at least Ishanten. And what are they actually? I did not check before I said all of that because I wanted what I said to be pure. It looks like they're Ishanten because they still have another south in hand.
I believe that they're actually 2 away, because they've got this 2, 3, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they've got 2 complete sequences. This pair here.
Right. So they're Ishanten. If you have 2 complete sequences in a pair and 2 other blocks, then you're Ishanten.
Yeah. Oh, did I say 2? I'm sorry. Yeah, they're Ishanten. They're not Tenpai. And you were saying that they were Tenpai, weren't you? Or am I?
Yeah, I was saying that I would expect them to be Tenpai, throwing away a safe tile like that. Okay. But Ishanten is a possibility because a lot of times you might not want, especially as dealer, might not want to hurt your tile acceptance when you're Ishanten, and so go ahead and throw away your safe tile, kind of 1 tile early, as it were, to make sure you have maximum tile acceptance to get to Tenpai. So that's interesting. But then this, almost the same thing can be said for Shimo, where we noticed that their first 3 tiles were all middle tiles, and then they discarded the Hatsu and the 9-mon from their hand. So if we've identified that they're going for some sort of weird hand, and then they discard the tiles we expect to be in their weird hand from their hand, and then even Sumo Giria, Haku, and a 9-so, I feel like then we maybe start getting concerned about them as well. But I mean, they're only 2 Shanten, as it turns out.
Right. Yeah.
So, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here, really. They're going for... Well, I guess what happened was that they're going for Chanta, but they just had some specific Chanta stuff that doesn't fit in. But I don't see how you would see that from this,
So it maybe the general idea to take from their discards here is perhaps that if you can tell that someone's hand is strange in some way, like if it's Chitoi, if it's Chanta, it's definitely not Kokoshi at this point. But if it's Chitoi or Chanta or Junchan, then in the sort of situations where most hands you expect to be Ishanten or Tenpai, if their hand looks really weird and then they're discarding the tiles that are useful for their hand, maybe it's less likely that they're in Tenpai because those hands are known already to be slow.
Right. Another thing to note is that they didn't pawn the south here.
Ooh, that's a good point. They didn't pawn the south.
They may be waiting for the second one. But this hand is still kind of far away. They may kind of have given up a little bit,
Yeah, I think you're right, because the 2 wests are also already gone.
Yeah, so maybe they're thinking... They just threw away this 4, though, which is not exactly a safe tile to throw away. So I wonder what exactly... Are they trying to get into a closed Chanta? Or just giving up on Chanta and planning on throwing away the winds or something?
I guess we'll have to look at their hand as this one continues to know what's going on, I think. I'm interested in what they're doing.
Right, yeah. But yeah, these discards I think are a little confusing to me. I wouldn't know what to make of this without being able to see their hand.
And then from our point of view, it's obvious that Kami's going for Toi Toi.
Right.
But is that a triplet of 5s, or is that a 3 and 2 5s?
Oh, that's a 3 and 2 5s.
I mean, they're still probably going for Toi Toi.
Yeah.
But
it could be if they discard these 2 1-pin, then we'll see they're going simple. But it seems weird to be going for Toi Toi in the middle of the second row, being so far from having it completed.
Yeah, with 5 players and no triples.
This seems like a Silver Room move to me. if that's what they're doing.
It does, unless they're trying to psych the other players out.
Yeah. This can easily be a bluff too. And I don't know why they would want to bluff though. Maybe I don't know, because it's their dealership next, so they want people to fold, and so that they can get the dealership. But I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not huge into the idea of bluffing anyway. Typically, that I might add it into my game later on, but I'm not really interested in when to bluff. I might want to recognize it if someone is, but it's not something I want to implement, so I care a little less about it.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and see what happens next. They do seem to be going for Chanta. Oh, and into Tempai.
Yeah, I am in an Adazuki Tempai. Yeah, the 8-so being safer than the 5-so, obviously, incorporating the Aka into my hand.
Maybe this person is just going for Oh, now they're folding. So they were just on the verge of folding in this full fold, I guess. The con?
Should I have called that con?
That's a good question. So, when to con and when not to con. I wonder if part of that was just to get an extra tile draw out of the way.
That's why I did it at the time. I remember saying,
"Oh yeah.
Well, no one else is discarding the East, so maybe I can draw it from the dead wall."
Yeah, that is interesting that like we don't see a single East anywhere. So what's the deal with that? Like I guess maybe both of them are up here in the wall, which sucks.
But I guess the bigger question is, with dealer's discards, was it worth the extra draw to do that? Because it's not like I can draw a 9-so. The 9-so are already dead.
Well, I guess the issue here is if someone hits Ricci, do you have safe discards? So you don't want to throw the East if someone Ricci for sure. So I feel like that may be a reason not to con is just that you don't have anything to defend with, and maybe these ones are what you would want to throw.
Well, the 9-so is pretty safe at this point, I think. Can we see all of the 8-so?
Oh, yeah, that's a good. I don't know why. Maybe because it's red, I didn't see it.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can see 3 8-so and 1, 2. Only 2 7-so. Oh, no, there's one in my hand. So we can see 3 7-so and 3 8-so. I've got 2 9-so. So I mean, it would be someone would have to have exactly the last 7-so and the last 8-so, I suppose.
Yeah.
To be waiting on this. So.
And these ones also look really dangerous. So yeah. It doesn't really hurt you to take them out of your hand when I actually look at the discards. So maybe it's fine, but I don't think there's a particularly much reason to do it either, because it's a very low chance that you'll actually draw the East that way.
Right.
I think if it were me, maybe I would just pass on the con because, but again, it also means you don't have to discard the 1.
Right, and the 1 does feel very dangerous right there to me. We can't see any low Manzu, right? So there's nothing lower than the 4 in the discards.
I feel like that's the best argument to con the 1s is so that you don't have to discard one of them, and you get another tile, which is probably going to be safer. And if it's really unsafe, you could discard the 9-so. But I don't think that. How dangerous does this? How many? We can see a bunch of Dora, right? Like, I don't think that this feels especially dangerous situation we're in right now, except for these openings over here. But this open hand doesn't feel that dangerous.
Right. I mean, because I have the Dora Easts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And someone else might have 2 of them. But they're not. But they can't stay Dama. Because they would, unless they're doing the same sort of thing I am, but I mean, even if they are, I'm not concerned about that because they'd be Adazuki.
Yeah.
And we can, as you said, we can see all 4 8-mon. Or can we only see 3?
I think that we can see. Okay, I'm seeing. Hold on. We see 3 of them right here.
Alright, so yeah. So most of the Dora are not really a concern to us. The red 5s, which again, we can see one of the red 5s even. So there's not even that many red 5s out.
Yeah. So I feel like in this situation, you have a bit of an advantage. The weight you have is kind of bad, but
yeah,
that's the one thing that makes me really feel a little sketchy about it. It's just that like it's hard to imagine winning this hand at this point, except by drawing the east or by drawing it from the wall. Like, yeah, it sucks so bad. Like, maybe you should have just recheat to be able to but this is gone at that point.
Right, you're dead.
So maybe it would have even been better just to go out of Tempai.
But the question is, what am I going to throw if I go out of Tempai? We already said the 1 mono dangerous, and the 4, 5, 6, and 5, 6, 7 all feel pretty dangerous too.
Yeah, I feel like this hand was just really unfortunate. So maybe you did the best you could, and this con is like fine, like that. You could have won with that by drawing the east if there's really 2 of them up here. I would feel like probably like they're in people's hands, like people are holding on to them and not throwing them.
But that's really another reason to push. If they're holding them in their hands, they can't be in a Tempai that they can win.
Yeah. But this person could. So yeah, this situation is really tough. I'd like to hear other people's like commentary on what to do here, because I feel like I don't have a good answer. Like, you don't want to fold. You can't really win the hand. I guess you can go to exhaustive. And maybe that's the best thing, is just try and go to exhaustive in Tempai, and because there's not really anything else to do. You can't force someone to toss the east at you.
Right.
So, well, let's just go for it. I guess I don't think we really have much to say here. Oh, that was an interesting thing there. The Sakigiri, or not Sakigiri, but what is it? Whatever the word is, for when you discard it from your hand instead of Sumogiri, so people see it as a Tadashi.
I think Sakigiri is right. Let me ask our good friend Natsuki.
But yeah, when that happened, I think that I was questioning to myself, is it better to do that, or is it better to just Sumogiri?
Oh wait, it's not Sakigiri. It's Sakigiri is when you cut a dangerous tile early.
Yeah.
It has a name. I think it has a name with the word Giri in it.
Yeah. But regardless, it doesn't really matter. I just thought this was interesting because I was wondering if just doing the standard Sumogiri was better because it's less threatening. If you do like this, discarding it as a Tadashi makes it look more like you're in Tempai, and you are in Tempai.
But maybe I'm okay with that. Like if I'm in Tempai and everyone else isn't, I get 3,000 points.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna throw the east anyway. But yeah, I guess that's enough of that. That jumped in. Okay, so they managed to get to Tempai when I wasn't looking for a 100.
Yeah, they threw away the south they had been holding in their hand.
Yeah. But I feel that hand was well played on your part, so I don't feel like we have much more to say. Maybe someone else would have some comment on what we should have done there, but I feel like that's pretty good. 7, 8, 2, 2, 6, 8. Well, this hand looks good up here. Maybe 6, 7, 8, 5, 6.
That's a 9.
Over here.
No, you said 6, 7, 8 in peen, but that's a 19.
Oh! You can see better than me somehow, despite having worse quality. Yeah. So this hand looks kind of like garbage. I said at first it looked okay, but like just at a glance. And this looks bad. This looks bad. Like maybe they'll get some good draws here, but it looks to me like you have the best hand by far. Well, this 3, 3, 4, 4 isn't good. Yeah, everyone has a shit hand.
So let's see how we develop these shit hands.
Yeah. I wonder if this was the one where you were saying, I bet everyone's in Nishan 10 at the end of the first row.
I feel like I wasn't saying that yet.
Yeah, I think that's the next game, actually. Yeah. always so many pairs. This Chitoi hand.
I was Ishanten for Chitoi. And I'm holding on to that south because I'd really like that to be my final weight.
And your discards absolutely do not look like Chitoi.
Right, which is why I waited to discard the 6-peen. Because I felt like if I had discarded it right after the 2-peen, then my hand would look a lot more Chitoi. But by discarding the 1-peen first and then discarding the 6-peen, that I look more like I have some sort of flush hand.
Yeah, I wonder, when you said that, I was really wondering if you were overestimating people's ability to read, because I wonder if anyone would think Chitoi looking at an East 9, 2, 6. I feel like they'd more be thinking it's probably just that you don't have any pin tiles.
Yeah, that might be it.
So, I don't know if you need to worry that much, because these first two discards really disguise Chitoi.
And another thing, I think another reason to hold on to the 6 for a moment there, is I have the 9-peens. And so when I pull in that 3-mon, now if I end up going for a Toy, if my hand becomes more of a Toy hand, that 6-peen discard, now my reason it's also a Suji trap. Like if I can...
Oh, right, yeah. The setting that up way in advance.
That's how I like to set up my Suji traps.
Yeah.
The further in advance they're set up, the better they are.
Yeah, and this absolutely looks like it can become Toy or Sananko or Suanko this early, getting this kind of hand. That's one thing that I was curious. Would you ever go for Toy when you have 5 pairs and a triple in Jade Room? Would you just open up for Toy?
I think I would if most of my pairs weren't middle tile. Even with that 6-mon coming out, if I had called that 6-mon, I still have to count on the 4-mon coming out and the 7-mon coming out. And those, 7-mon is a lot more likely to come out, but 4-mon is, a really valuable middle tile. I guess I'm skeptical that I'm going to get the middle tiles I need. So oftentimes, if I'm opening up for Toy, it's because I have tiles I feel like I can pawn.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because that was just something I noticed, that it seems like people playing in Jade Room were very against Toy, just sort of in general. And maybe that's the reason why, is that there's a lot of middle tiles. So that's helpful to know. So I'll go ahead and move forward. This hand looks like it's developing really nicely over here. These hands all seem to be getting good tiles. Even though they all started bad, now they're all looking pretty good. Oh, and Tempai, yeah. Should I pause there?
Yeah. So let's and just take note of where everyone is so that we know what they're doing as they're going through this hand. So they're Tempai waiting on the... They have a shampoo? Wait. Oh, no, they are waiting on the 3 or 6, so. And then Toyman that's 4, 5, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're a good long ways away from Tempai. And haven't discarded yet, so we don't know what they're doing. Shimo on the right. 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 6, 8, north. So they're still... They are Ishanten. They are Ishanten with a chance to slide into a Sanshoku and can pawn their wind. And they discarded a Suji tile. They had the 6-8 so, and they discarded the 8 so, rather than discarding the 8-peen, which they also have in hand and is 100% safe. So they are pushing with their hand.
Right. One thing I wanted to talk about, and that's another thing, is I think I noticed that at the time, that this person puts down the 5, so this person puts down the Suji to the 5. So that actually is a bit dangerous, isn't it? That they might be dealing into the Suji trap.
Perhaps the best way to phrase it would be, it is more dangerous than other Suji tiles.
Right. So
It's more dangerous than your average Suji,
Mhm.
but it is still safer than, like, you know, a random 4 that's not Suji.
Sure.
Like, it's safer than the 4 Mon, say.
Sure.
And
to be
but
honest,
but it is dangerous. Like,
yeah, it's also so strange to me that that's the case, that it's more dangerous, because in Jade Room people are not delaying that and so on. Like, but anyway, I wanted to I don't want to get distracted by that, because I wanted to talk about this decision to Ricci here. In East 1, in 4th place, doing a Ricci only hand with Dora, Ricci Dora. So this is a 2-Han hand. So I just think that's interesting, because it can be so easily upgraded to a Pinfu if you drop off the 1 pin. And I feel like I might do that, trying to draw somewhere in the middle, to upgrade it to a Ricci Pinfu Dora.
I mean, I don't think it's that easy to upgrade this hand. I mean, the problem is you already have a different pair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if your pair were somewhere near the 1 pin and you could do something there, like, yeah, those 1 pin are really blocking things up. And I don't know if you still have the chat open, but Raisin is coming in. Hey, Raisin. But yeah, like, I highly doubt that you'd actually be able to maneuver this into a Pinfu hand. You'd have to move backwards to do so.
Yeah, I think this is kind of an obvious, I don't know, maybe this is just an obvious Ricci to take. I'm just thinking about the 3-6 weight being kind of bad, and only being a 2-Han hand, and being in 4th place in East 1. Basically tied in East 1.
Right, and it's a good way, and also like, you expect to sumo, I think, more often than to win on Rollin with a 3-6, probably.
Yeah, and I guess there's nothing especially terrifying going on.
And then I discarded the 3 Mon because it keeps me Shanten for Chitoy and is 100% safe against the Ricci. So
everyone here had a slow hand to start with, so maybe that makes more sense to just Ricci here. And I don't mean to question this Ricci, I just wanted to kind of talk about it a bit.
Yeah.
And the idea of dropping the 1 pin to get Pinfu, I mean, that is, you have to, that is kind of silly, but that's more just an excuse not to Ricci, I guess.
I mean, our goal here is to get really into the weeds. I mean, it's still, we're 47 minutes into this, and it's still freaking East 1. Like,
yeah, let's just keep going.
Yeah, and Dealer followed suit with the 8, so. Oh, and they chased. They got a triple.
I don't remember this.
Ipatu. Yeah. I don't know if I would have chased that, honestly.
Should we go back to that?
I'm curious why they did.
Well,
I mean, because
I did it again. Okay, it's turn 9. I didn't realize it was turn 9. Okay.
Because what's part of what's interesting to me about that is their hand really doesn't have any value. They did not, like, their hands could have been upgraded to Sanshoku if they had pulled in the 6 Mon and tossed the 9 Mon. They also could have gotten their North and tossed away the Tuso. But, like, yeah, there's not a lot of value there.
So wait, what was their weight here? What did they?
The 7 so.
So they did a Kanchan weight chasing this. That's
you need to go
strange.
1. You need to go 1 turn forward.
If I go 1 more, I think it's gonna end.
No, it'll go to me, which is right before them.
Oh, okay. I guess I double clicked it last time. Okay. Right. So yeah, that's so strange. Taking that Kanchan weight, chasing this in the East 1. It just seems so unnecessary.
I mean, it's Ricci only.
Yeah. So.
Oh. Raisin just pointed out the best way to do this. You go to the next hand. Well, we're basically there now, but you go to the next hand, and then you click the 1 step backward button, and it'll take you to the last discard. So that would take us to the deal-in tile.
Okay. Yeah, make sure to remember that for next time. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that recommendation.
So.
But yeah, I definitely wouldn't Ricci that. I mean, I'm a more defensive player in general, but that kind of boggles me, and I don't think it's something I'm really interested in doing either. Like Ricci only with a Kanchan weight. I mean, there's no 7-so in the discard, so there's still 4 out.
Yeah, I do
that
not
seems
understand this. Because there's no reason to think that someone's going to put that down.
Well, other than the Ricci player who did end up putting it down, like the Ricci player obviously can't play defense, but
yeah. I mean, that's a reason, I guess, is that there's one person you can either sumo it or the other person can put it down. But why do you chase with not a better weight than the person who had Ricci?
Yeah, Raisin says that's a nuh-uh, which I'm gonna take Raisin. I'm gonna go with what Raisin says there.
I mean, this could be a Master 1 player who's about to rank down for all we know, so let's not overthink this.
Right.
Okay.
Cutting the 9M and cheating the 6M later, as Raisin says, I think is a much better option.
Right. Okay. So this looks like a bit of garbage here. Does anyone have a? It looks like that's really bad. That's not gonna. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So nothing particularly interesting out of the gate with any of these hands.
Okay, so let's just go forward. This one looks like it has some potential at least.
Oh, I immediately draw the Anko of 3P.
Oh, right. In one of these hands did you get into Tempai for Suanko?
I don't think. Oh no, I got Sananko.
Ah, right.
That might end up being this hand, but we'll see. I don't think it is, but
yeah, I'm probably thinking of Zen streaming earlier who got Suanko into Tempai for Suanko with the weight on the Norse and Sanna.
And they threw the 8-mon that was next to their triplet of 7s because they've got pairs elsewhere. They're lousy with pairs. Oh, this was the con. This was the con that I was really curious about during the game. So they conned this 7-mon, and I really wanted to know at the time what that meant about their hand. It turns out basically nothing. Like, I mean, they cut the 8-mon and the 6-mon, so they obviously didn't have anything around the 7-mon, but it didn't really tell me anything else. They don't even have all symbols. I mean, they're still closed, so they can go for a Ricci. It's not like they have to have symbols.
This seems very strange to me though to con in this situation where you're so far from Tempai and you don't have anything especially.
Their so shape is pretty nice. I mean, that 4-4-5-6-7-7, but again, like they are good content.
You can still delay it though, right? Like, wouldn't you delay it much longer this con when you didn't have 2 penchant weights and so on?
Yeah, Raisin is laughing at conning with 2 penchants.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be agreeing with Raisin on something. So this seems like it's kind of a strange decision.
And I think I got distracted because I was like, what does this con of 7-mon mean?
Yeah. Unless they know
I don't know if that affects my hand, but
unless they know somehow that everyone's got. Oh, Jesus Christ! I didn't even notice that. Closed reds there. Dora Chun.
Oh yeah, that's scary. And they did pull into their Tenpai there, and so they're waiting on the 3P.
Yeah. Did you notice that there were no Chun discarded here?
I don't think I did at the time, which I need to look out for.
Yeah, I think that sometimes I would notice that, and sometimes I would just be asleep and I would not notice. That's why it's important to stay awake during the game.
And I'm just folding at this point, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you didn't make a comment about the Dorichin, but I also think like it's a long time before you can have that much focus to always notice things like that in every game.
And actually, everyone is discarding entirely safe tiles. It looks like Shimo is just... Well, yeah, Shimo moved their hand around a bit, despite the fact that they're lousy with Dora.
Okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, I wanna see if Shimo maybe could have or should have pushed there. I don't know. Like, I was trying to watch all the hands and ended up not having a good handle on any of them. Um, I mean, because that 7 peen and the 2 8-mon discards that Shimo did both came out of their hand. So maybe go back 4 turns.
Okay. Is that far enough or more?
Yeah, looking at it here. So let's see. They've got the closed triplet of 3-mon, a pair of 2 8-mon, 7 9. Okay, so they're still pretty. No, they're ish on 10, yeah.
Yeah, if they draw the 6 or the 8 or something, or the 8 or the 9, pretty bad ish on 10, but yeah.
It's not a wonderful ish on 10, but it is ish on 10 for a Hanuman.
Yeah, if you
know, it could be ish on 10 for a Baimon, because they could easily, like, they could get Sananko if they pull in the 9-peen or the 8-mon to get to Tenpai.
And if you had for some reason dropped the 9-peen or the 6, you would have given them that Tenpai. But I don't foresee you would have ever done that. So yeah, they were unlucky to have you sitting on their left here.
I'm kind of curious though. If you would you fold this hand? Ish on 10 for a Hanuman or possibly a Baimon. Dealer calls Ricci after calling a Khan. You can see all the Dora because you're holding them all. I guess there's still 2 lines out that you're unsure of. You're not worried about the last Dora Chun because you're never going to discard those, so no one can win on a Dora Chun tanky weight.
Well, so is this actually a fold though? That like discarding the 7 seems fine, right? Like, because it's safe against the dealer. It doesn't really hurt the hand because you're never going to discard the 9, right?
Raisin wants us to go back to when I discarded the 8-mon.
Okay.
So right here. And looking at their hand, okay, their hand is in the same situation. Oh, okay, so they had already pushed for a bit. Because they did not have the pair of 8-mon yet, and they had the 5-peen is safe. So I guess.
Well, they discarded this 5 and the 6 here. Like, hold on.
Like, I'm obviously out of this hand, so I discard the 8-mon.
They just discarded this 5 and 6 though, so.
But that was before the Ricci.
Yeah, but
Oh, you're saying they're shapes.
Yeah. But it seems like they're already folding back here.
Oh, they had 6 shapes. But why discard the Aka? Why discard the red 5-mon?
Well, I mean, because because it looks safer, I guess. Like.
So is this the turn where they pulled in the 3rd Chun?
Maybe.
So yeah, they pull in the Chun and then they cut the 5-6 shape.
Going for Swanko? I don't know.
I mean, they have to be going for Sananko. Yeah, Raisin says that's just a bad move.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing. Maybe they saw that 3rd Chun and they just lost their goddamn mind. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Raisin's right that we shouldn't think too much about it.
Okay.
I think seeing the 3rd Dora Chun and losing their goddamn mind is the most likely thing that happened here. You know what though? I did make the comment in the game multiple times that I'm just gonna run on the assumption that everybody's way better than me and they're doing very smart stuff all the time. And watching this log has definitely proved that I should not be thinking that, like, as consistently as I do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for a Saint 3 you can think they're better than you. To guide your decision making, but I think if they're an M1, we're strongly suspicious that they may not be better than you.
But anyway, I don't think there's going to be anything interesting for the rest of that hand. Everything
Yeah.
interesting was the bad plays from Shimo and the weird con from Oya. So
Yeah, let's see here. This looks alright, doesn't it? They got the 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 in a pair. So this looks like it could be good.
yeah, they have. I mean, their hands have pretty much all been garbage. So that's like their best looking hand, which is saying something.
But I
No
think...
honors for Toyman, which is gonna make improving their hand easier.
Right.
But yeah, okay. But no specific hands to see like how they're going to develop.
Yeah, and your hands have been really bad too.
That's just every day.
But yeah, so there's nothing really to talk about here, so let's just keep going. And tons of pairs. There's so many pairs.
And then the classic, they discarded the Hatsu turn 1 and immediately pulled in another Hatsu.
Yep.
Oh, and now I've got the Dora tune.
Oh, did you end up getting this? Was this the hand where you got the Dorichin and then ended up dealing in?
It might be.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, this one I've got 5 pairs, but I decide to open because I got the tune.
Yeah, and I think that...
So, what would you have gone there? Would you have taken that pawn? Because I've got 5 pairs, but they're all locked except for the 16.
Mm-hmm.
They're all locked into these complex shapes that could be cheat or drawn into pretty easily.
Right, you were Yishan 10 for cheap toy, right? That was
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you could have drawn 7, the 4, the 6, the 8.
Yeah, now that I have the 8 mon, I discard the 6 mon, and I feel like
this doesn't.
I don't know.
This doesn't look like a good cheat toy hand, even though you're Yishan 10.
So you think you would have taken the pawn of the Dorachun as well?
For a Mangan, and that puts you 2 away, but it's like you can get there in any possible imaginable way. It moves you back by 1 step, but your paths forward are multiplied by a billion. So
okay,
that seems
yeah.
fine
And
to me.
Raisin as well says the pairs look healthy, just pawn.
And yeah, I mean, you could draw the 2 or the 5 or the 8 or the 6 or whatever, and in a few turns probably be in a much better situation than you were. So anyway, that seems,
So let's see how it goes then. So I call the pawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then pretty quickly get the chi on the mon tiles, I think. Okay, and they called that chi, and they are still Ishanten. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like even if you did have a hand that looks like you might be able to draw another pair pretty fast, or not pretty fast, but possibly. I feel like it's just so... You go cheat toy because you have to, basically. Oh, there's the dealing tile. Oh no, it isn't.
Yeah, so now I am Tenpai waiting on the 2-pin and the 5-pin, and Shimo is Tenpai waiting on the 4-so and the 7-so. I have all of the Dora though, so I mean I can't see the red tiles.
Yeah, so you're just gonna draw. Yeah, here it comes. Yep. Yeah, I mean I don't know what else you can do there.
Yeah, it was 1 hon only. I don't think I feel bad about that deal in.
Yeah, this seems like a really obvious push to me. I'm not sure if there's anything else to do.
It's unfortunate that the tie gives the advantage to the person on my left, but that's just. I think it's just going to be like that. A Mongon would have given the advantage to me, so.
Yeah. And this was the hand, I think, where you were saying that you were thinking about just opening up, but you didn't want to spook people from giving you the east. Maybe that was the other hand, but that seems like something that you might think here. So you're not counting on calling any of this stuff until you get these.
Oh,
Oh, and they call
They-
this.
They call the West immediately. I mean, it makes sense. Their hand is already
Mhm.
like looking fairly okay for Chanta, at least as good as any Chanta hand looks.
Well, they don't need Chanta anyway. I'm sure they'll take anything, right? Like
Right. But it just so happens that everything they're drawing is Chanta.
that's a delicious like 1 Han bonus. Push them up. So many more points. Oh, and then
Then early Ricci. And they immediately threw their 8-mon, which was
Yeah.
a shake in their hand. I throw the West, which is totally safe.
yeah, this is just such garbage here on your dealer turn to have this happen.
Was the 2 safe? Why'd I throw the 2?
That's a good. Hold on. I think you're just pushing. Just pushing against. It wasn't safe. I remember that happened a couple times. You discarded it, they discard the same tile. Yeah, I think you're just pushing because you want to get your dealership. You don't want to lose your dealership here.
No. I feel like I should have thrown the 9. Oh, it's 1 chance. 3, 4, 4. Wait, is it?
I don't think so. If you could see, they have 3.
Oh, yeah, it is. The 4 is the Dora indicator.
Oh yeah, okay. Right. Okay.
I mean, I could have. The 9-mon is safe. I should have thrown the 9-mon first before throwing the Tuso. But the Tuso was probably the second safest tile in my hand.
Jeez.
それ論
And that was just.
でリーチ一発単ヤを
Oh, it was because everything looked weird because of the turn order there. Raisin is saying the 9M wasn't safe yet when the Tuso was cut.
Yeah, and
So that was part of it.
I remember right after this you were saying that you should have tossed the 8-pin instead of the 4.
Right. So yeah, let's click back on that. Take Raisin's advice and do the 1 click backwards. Oh, you went too far. Yeah. So here, right now I'm kind of lost because now this other person reaches and I'm like, oh shit, I don't have anything safe for them. And I just kind of stalled out in my head and just tossed away from one of my pairs. And I really should have thought about it a little bit more. The 8-pin I think is obviously better than the 4-so since the 4-so is right next to the Dora.
Yeah. Yeah. This just sucks. Like, there's nothing that's safe here, right? Like.
And the 3-mon also is pretty it feels pretty dangerous being right next to that 2-mon discard. As it turns out, it's more dangerous to. I mean, it's the deal-in tile for Shimo, not Kami, but can try the 5M. Raisin says. Oh yeah, the 5M would be. It's Nakasuji for Shimo.
Yeah, I mean, I was seeing that, but is that really like? I don't know. Is yeah, because it's like it's next. It's the Dora it's the Richie tile here, and it's not safe against them above. It is safe against them. It is Suji safe against them. So yeah, you could, I guess. I feel like.
Yeah, that's. I think that's an interesting thing to make sure to be thinking about. Because I wasn't thinking about that 2M and how it related to Shimo's discards at all, creating the Nakasuji. So I definitely didn't notice that. That's something I need to be better about keeping in mind once a second person called Richie. Being sure to think about how the tiles relate to each other, but
it just happened. You didn't really have time to think about it. But yeah, I guess. I wonder though, like, couldn't you throw the 8-pin because for one thing, there's 2 of them, and it doesn't lose you. Your like, it doesn't lose your Shantan.
Well, the problem with the 8-pin is it's there's no pin in North's discards.
Yeah.
And there's only 1 pin in. Like, peen are very expensive.
Yeah.
Like,
but
there's
so early in the game. I guess you might deal into they might think they have like a Honitsu or something.
Yeah, I think the 5-mon is probably going to end up being the best discard there. I might be screwed next turn.
Yeah, like
but
after you don't have anything else. Like, that's another thing is that if once you throw this, you don't have anything else. So the next one will probably be the 8, right? Unless you draw something that's safe.
I'm going to have to start making some guesses at some point, but I think that first discard's really important. So yeah, and Raisin agrees with you that for pushing to maintain my Shanten, the 18 is the best choice. And for folding the 5-mon, for pushing the 18, my hand is only worth 2 Han, even as dealer. Definitely not the 4S, which is what came out of my hand.
For some reason, I was thinking of these as being like Dora East or something. Like I thought it was worth more. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's just like the situation just sucks, and I guess you could throw the 5-mon and hope that you draw safe tiles.
But I think we got everything out of that hand that we can. It's not a fun situation, and it's not going to become a fun situation.
Yeah, so let's go on to this next hand. I don't know if we should pause and look over the hands, or if we should just, because it's going to take forever to get through.
Right.
This hand looks nice. These hands are looking much better this time around. Although yours is not the best. 6, 7, 7, 8. This looks very nice. Oh, is there already a... This person's already...
Someone's already tied.
Yeah.
We need to pause. Who is it? It's not this...
No? It's the same. Yeah.
It's Shimi.
I thought it was...
1, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah.
I mean, there's not much to say about this because they just started with a really good hand. So I think they're just gonna win.
The question is, would you have reached that? 1, 2. I mean, Hinfu, Dora 2.
Yeah.
Dealer.
I'd Richie that. I mean, why not? It's so early. You're the dealer. It's a valuable hand. I mean, I guess like.
Raisin says, "Of course you reach that." So yeah, in agreement there.
I guess if it was like in the middle of the second row, and like things were looking dangerous or something, maybe not. But it's early.
It's worth 4,000 points, right? Like 4,300 points you gain by throwing out that Reichi stick,
or more. And they ended up Sumo too, so it's like.
Yeah, so with a Reichi, that's 12,000 points, but instead they only got 7,800.
Yeah, I mean that's fine for them, but I think they just chicken out on it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe they got spooked by something.
Man, and I'm at 7,800 points right now.
Yep.
How did that happen? that Forso.
Yeah, that was it. That was Ipatsu. That sucked. That's another reason, just to pause for a second, that's another reason to discard the 5-mon, right? Is that you really don't want to Ipatsu.
Right.
So, even if you run out of folding tiles, you're probably not going to win the hand for 2 Han anyway. If nothing else, you can avoid Ipatsu. But yeah, I thought that was worth saying.
Oh,
look at this hand over here. Now they've got the fast hand.
And this one, I was correct on during the stream. I said they called those 1-mon, and that now I was very scared of them because they very likely had the Dorohatsu, and they absolutely 100% did.
Yeah.
oh,
And then they call the Wests too.
Yeah, and they're doing this. It makes a lot more sense when you have the Hatsu to do this like Silver Room toy sort of thing.
Yeah, because even if you don't end up winning on the Hatsu, I mean, Toy Dora 2.
Yeah.
And then they Reichi.
Oh. Yep. This hand, yeah, they couldn't fight the speed of this hand, even pawning everything.
Yeah, and I think I must have misread a tile when I discarded.
Oh, did you discard something really dangerous there?
I I didn't discard a safe tile. I discarded the 8 mon,
Yeah.
and they had a 9 mon in their discard, and it's very possible I thought that 9 mon was an 8 mon.
Oh. Yeah, that happened to
So-
me earlier when I was doing like a bronze ring stream or something.
So that's probably not a discard we need to linger over, but
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's easy to do.
it happens.
It happens. Okay, let's go forward here. There's 2 Dora over here, but not much else. This hand looks fast as hell. This person again getting a fast hand. And nothing else to really talk about. I guess your hand is okay too, except this shitty Nakabukure.
The worst Nakabukure of all.
Yeah. I mean, it's
7,
like,
8, 9 with one eye we discarded.
Yeah, I guess it's not that bad of a shape, because at least you can... Yeah, at least it's like a penchant plus a... Anyway, it's just insulting to see it.
And now they're Tenpai waiting on the 3 and 6 mon after 1 call.
Yeah.
So 1 call into the first row, they're
치.
Tenpai.
Yeah, there's just not much to talk about when this happens. This person
Why?
is pushing though.
They are.
リーチ
Yorichi. Main instance. Okay, well,
Yeah.
ジュン
I'm just excited for the final hand where I'm like, because I very clearly remember what happened in the final hand, but
Oh.
let's see.
You go Itsu here? I don't remember.
I definitely don't get it.
I think
I know my point value never went up in this game.
I'm pretty sure you're going to go for Itsu on this hand.
Oh, okay. That was a discard Can we go back to the 4-pin discard? Because that's something that I think I do kind of on autopilot that I don't know it's something I should be doing. So I'm thinking with this hand, it could be, as you said, Itsu.
Mhm.
Like we could get that pure straight. It could also be Honitsu.
Mhm.
Oh, and Raisin is saying, wait, how many pairs did I have? 1, 2, 3. Okay, there's only 3 pairs. So going for Chitoi is a joke for Raisin. I just needed to make sure. I'm not you. I can't pull pairs into my hand by magic, the way Bill does. But I have, how many shapes do I have for Honitsu? 4.
It says it's not a joke.
But don't throw the 4P out. But the Chitoi part. So the question is why to keep the 4P there? I think.
Well, maybe
is what I'm.
Well,
curious
you could. Well, no. I'm trying to think. Well, I
just
guess
got
it's 2. Yeah. Oh yeah, just keep the 2 Kanchan shapes.
right, and that's true. I think in my head I was thinking of it maybe as
Safe
Honitsu, but one, or as a safe tile. But 1 Chun's already cut, so it's unlikely it's going to help me get to Honitsu. And I can't really be thinking about safe tiles too much at this point, because I'm, like 20,000 points behind?
Yeah, and although I don't know, I think that's something I wonder about, is that if there's just 1 discarded, that might actually be better for your capability to draw another one. Because that means that someone else doesn't have 2.
Well, unless they're keeping it as a safe tile.
Yeah, maybe that's more of a gold room thing than a jade room thing.
Another thing to think about, I mean, other than it just being more efficient and I need efficient hands, because now with this Ryantan shape, I'm in a situation where if I draw the 5-pin, to advance my hands, I have to cut the 2-pin, the Dora, which I probably not going to want to do. If I have both 4-pin in my hand, drawing the 5-pin doesn't force me to discard the Dora. So I think, that's...
later I'm sure later you drop the 6-pin exactly because of that you want to use the Dora.
Okay, that's something I needed to take note of for myself.
You could just drop the Dora early too.
Sakagiri it.
Yeah, because if it's really good, I mean, but then what if you draw another one, or I guess, but like, yeah, I don't know. south 2, maybe you should be hoping to draw another one.
Yeah.
Or
Okay. So that was a mistake made there. But let's see where this hand goes.
But yeah, you still have a dealership coming up, so I don't know if it's that desperate.
That's true. I just cut this out like it was nothing. Still got that tune in my hand. Okay, I pull in the 8.
4, 5, 6.
Right, and Raisin points out too, like the south would have been a much better. Like if I'm going for Honitsu or something, like the south was much better than the Shun because I am south. It is the south wind. It's worth 2 Yaku high. Like
yeah,
it's just an all around better tile. The Shun was a bad hold, and they both had this card. Yeah. Five, 6, 8, 8.
So they're waiting on the 3 pin there.
Yeah, it's a Kanto on the 3 pin.
ごめんなさい。
Oh right, and I was yeah. Well,
I just sumo that.
リーチ、スモ、ドラ、ドラ。
That's they wait on the tile next to the door and they just sumo it. I wish I could do that.
Yeah. So the main thing there was, I think, my poor management with the tune in my hand.
Yeah, I think that's the...
Raisin says go back to the last turn. Here. I remember why I threw that 6-mon. Or at least I think I do. Because I had 7, 8, 9. I was thinking about the 7s as the pair. Oh, right, and I was thinking of I can have the 4, 6, and the 6-mon safe against the Ricci.
Right.
But is it my pair? Current.
They've got the 1, 1 here. And the 7, 7. 7, 8, 9, 7, 7.
Right, it's not...
So this is like... kind of all over the place.
How many pairs do I have? 1, 2, 3. Oh, I had 4 when I had the 6-mon in my hand. So Raisin is saying cutting the 9-mon is slightly better because I can cheat toy. Yeah, I mean all the 9s are gone. The 9 is totally safe. So I keep 4 pairs, so it's still possible to go cheat toy. And actually, I'm in the same situation as far as my shapes go, because even if it becomes a normal hand, then I still have, the 1s as my normal pair, the 7s as my pair with the 6, 7, 8, 7, 7. Okay, yeah, so the 9-mon being a better cut.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I might have gotten a little lost in the full flush hand. I need to get used to looking at those better, and I think I often miss Chitoy chances if they're locked into normal shapes.
Play on Tenho. It's good practice.
Yeah, I know I need to play more Tenho. Try and join you.
Okay. So let's go forward here. Door over here in the east. Well, it's the south now, though.
Right, and as Raisin says, the 6M safer later, but I'm in dead last, so that doesn't really matter. So yeah, that totally tracks. They've already called 2 guest wins.
Yeah. How are they gonna get to Tenpai here?
That's a wonderful question. What are they doing?
This hand over here. This person keeps getting these fast hands.
Alright, and I'm dealer, so I called the Hatsu because I just wanted to try and get anything fast. What are they? Why did they do that? Okay, I just need to not look at their hand, I think. 7, 8, 9, south, south. They've got the reds.
I mean, for all we know, that east could have been like a misclick.
Right, that's true. That happens. I know I did it in the second game.
Oh, and now they are each on 10 for a Toy Toy if they can phone the Dora there.
Yeah, and they're very obviously pushing that, like, to be the Toy, but yep, they draw the 3. They Ricci.
Yeah, I feel like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like these Toy rushes are a lot more common than I thought they would be in Jade Room, unless this is really unrepresentative.
yeah, well, I mean, that player has been doing madcap shit the whole game, so
Yeah.
I don't know if we should think of them as a representative. And obviously, I was pushing. I mean, I got into Tenpai and just discarded what I drew because I'm in last.
Oh, Raisin saying Toy and to deny your draw.
Oh, denying my draw, skipping me. I didn't do the antecedent of that pronoun right.
Oh, you got a
Yeah,
pretty good,
just a bad luck.
pretty good hand here in South 4, 30,000 points behind.
Yeah, not exactly the Sanbaima I need, huh?
Yeah, and that's one thing that I was thinking of about these hands where you're like so many points behind, and you say like, okay, I need to get Sanshoku and I need to get such and such to get a Baimon, and you'll pass on the Sumo or the Ron or whatever. And I wonder if it's better just to try and get 10,000 points or something.
Just so I lose less rank points.
Yeah, and also to feel better about it, like
Get a win.
At least you won, yeah.
Yeah, Raisin says there's no hope. Go for Open Tanyao just to end it.
Yeah.
But I really was trying. I mean, I was thinking about Sanshoku this hand.
Yeah, I
How
mean,
how can I get there?
it's a good mental exercise, I think, but not gonna happen. I guess you could go for double Yakuman, or just normal Yakuman.
And I am Tenpai here, and I think at this point I started saying to myself, well, if I maintain my Tenpai, and we go into exhaustive, and me and the dealer are both Tenpai, then there's a Ricci stick on the table, like...
Yeah. Yeah, and you're just talking about the Honba and stuff. I think this may actually go to the next round, too.
It does. It does go to the next round, because I end up on Tenpai for Ryunpeiku, and I was like, I don't have this achievement yet, I'm going for it, I don't give a shit.
Whose Dylan was this 9?
I think they sumo. Oh, the 9 pin was showing as a Dylan tile, but for whom?
Yeah.
Oh, it was me. I had
you
Tonki Wade.
You passed it, right? Yeah. You passed it because you're trying to get a Sanbaimon.
Right.
Or a Baimon, a direct hit or something like that. Yeah.
I passed it because I was still living on the possible assumption that I might somehow get into 3rd place.
Yeah, and I was absolutely thinking, please just Ricci and end the game.
Yeah, that's what Raisin said as well. Just Ricci and take it.
But I mean, it's a very it's not that important of a thing because it's not like getting 4th instead of 3rd or something like that. It's just the morality you use to decide how the game ends.
Right. Make yourself feel better about it. This hand is really fun though.
Yeah. Because
I've only ever had 2 Ryunpeiku chances ever, in ranked. I really want that achievement. I really hate that Mahjong Soul added the achievements, because with 2 Richi's, a Hanuman Ron would have been enough, but I didn't have a Hanuman.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think even there wasn't a possibility of Ippatsumo or anything like that to get it, but still, it's just whatever you can get. I feel like.
Well, now certain. Yeah, I don't remember what I had, and we've been on this log for forever. I might go back to that later and look just to make sure that.
Yeah.
Since Raisin said that, I assume it's true. But one of the Richis would be my Richi. But anyway, yeah, I should look at that to do the point calculation. But yeah, and then this hand. Yeah, I denied the sumo because I was like, I've gotta get Rion Keiko.
Yeah.
I need an indulgence.
Yeah, it is significant though to end up at positive 10k instead of negative 2600.
Right. I mean, yeah. By all means, I should have taken that sumo. I mean, it was a pretty cool hand.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I need that achievement. The only two Yaku I don't have are Ryunpeiku and Sankansu.
Do you want to do the second log too? I don't think I have it. Or did you send that one as well?
Yeah, I sent them both.
Okay, let me see.
Which hand are you talking about, Raisin? Baimon Sumo was not enough because Dealer was too far ahead at that point, and the person who would have been hit was the person I was closest to wasn't Dealer. So a Baimon Sumo was only 20,000 points, and I was 23,000 behind Toyman, and even with 2 Richi sticks and a Honba, that didn't get me to 23k. Right, 20k a Richi stick and a Honba wasn't enough. Yeah, if they had been Dealer, then it would have been, but.
Oh, and here, in this game you're starting out as Dealer. That's great.
Right, my favorite place to start. I do know what happens on this hand. I know that I get Sananko on this hand.
Oh really? Oh yeah, because yeah, you started off with a really high score.
And this is one where I would I think the tilt affected my mentality at the very least.
Yeah.
Because I started off with a really high score, but still felt like I was losing.
Yeah. Like in East 2, you were saying you were acting like you were in 4th place when you had a 13k point lead or something.
And I threw the 7-mon right because I'm thinking of the 2-2-3-4, 2-2-3-4, got the Wests. At this point, I'm a little sad because I'm not gonna get Pinfu more than likely. I draw the 2, and I discard the North. Yeah, and as soon as they reach I draw on the 6-0, and I chase with Sananko, because I have a really nice sideway and a Foxy. And then I just felt guilty.
Yeah.
Alright, Raisin says I should have cut the 6-0 instead of the 7-mon. What is Menhon?
Menhon?
Yeah, Menhon.
I actually don't know what that means. Men means surface, hon means something.
Closed Honitsu? There we go.
Oh, okay. Let me go back. Wait, let me do it this way. So wait, what are we talking about?
When I discarded the first 7-mon here, that I should have discarded the 6-0 because there's still a possibility for Honitsu at this point. That would mean eventually dropping the 5-peen and the 6-peen. But I mean, I would only drop those if I was drawing the tiles needed for the Honitsu, which would be worth more, obviously. So, yeah, that makes sense.
Or so wait, we're saying to drop the 6-0?
Yeah.
Okay, right, okay. I was thinking.
I gotta cut one through anyway. Keep the one that keeps Honitsu alive.
Yeah, Yeah, I thought it was 16 and I was so confused for a second there. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because you're just choosing between this pair and this pair, basically. Okay. All right, so that's all we have for this hand, right?
Right. Yeah, that's the only thing to keep in mind there. Thanks for pointing that out, Raisin.
I need to take care of my cat. Here, give me 1 second.
Okay. Come on, Princess Wickens. Getting in the way of the stream. And then this hand. It's not very pretty right from the start.
All right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No one. I was gonna just like kind of vamp about the starting hands, but no one has anything particularly interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, Shimo started with a full 7-8-9 sequence in Peen. That's about the coolest thing anyone has.
I guess we have the Chun up here, but not Chun with a bunch of garbage.
And their first cut was the 6, so yeah, okay.
Oh, that's interesting.
Up to 17. Oh, and my hand's actually developing.
Right.
And Raisin doesn't like the double east first discard from me, which, yeah, the one so would have definitely been better.
Yeah, that does seem. Yeah, I would think that was a bit strange if someone discarded the east so early.
Yeah. I'm so used to just like auto discarding east first because I always do that to prevent someone from like having time to get the double east.
Right.
That it's a bad habit that extends to my dealership. And they're Tenpai waiting on the 4P. Someone else is Tenpai waiting on, so aren't they?
Hold on.
Okay, no. There's just 2 people Tenpai waiting on the 4P right now. Shimo's Tenpai waiting on the 4P. Toyman is also. Toyman has Chitoy.
Right.
They just have a time to wait.
That's interesting. Yeah, this was a single wait on the door over there. Okay.
And I think I'm trying to play relatively safe cards maybe at this point, because there's all these calls and I can't see most of the Dora. The two so isn't especially. Okay, yeah, it's like 1 chance or no chance. There's a whole bunch of so discarded. They're cheap. And then the 9P is safe against the 2 open players. Yeah, I should have cut the 9P earlier for sure. That was definitely something I should have done. And then yeah, I think my discards here just in general kind of aren't great. I don't think I had fully committed in my head to folding or pushing my hand, and I think I just kind of ended up discarding like trash. Cause yeah, that 9 mon was not especially good, I don't think either. So those were some bad discards.
Oh, this is this hand. Oh my god, this hand. No, it's not.
No, they're because they're not norm. So
well, at least we won't have to deal with that hand until later.
You just know it's coming.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, their hand's progressing really nicely. They got the San Minchan shape.
Yeah. Yeah, they just generally seem to just get good. Whoever's sitting to the left of you.
That's the Saint. They're a Saint. They were a Saint
Oh,
1,
that's
I
the
think.
same?
Yeah. And they are now Tenpai Tonki Wade on the 3P.
Yeah. Oh, and Suji getting a nice. Oh, they already had one there. Suji.
They already had a Suji trap. I guess so. That's and now they've switched their weight to the 1 mon. Okay.
Makes sense.
I guess Suji trap's worth a little bit less when you're open, since people might not directly be playing as much defense against you. So I suppose that makes sense in that way.
I mean, it's just generally a bad way, I think. Oh, and then they drew it though. Or no, that was the 3-pin one.
Well, the rest of their hand just developed.
Yeah, and your hands just never seem to. Even if they start really nice, they don't ever seem to complete. In this particular game.
And now they've got a much better weight,
Oh yeah, just no, just sumo it. Okay.
and they sumo it once they improve it. Yeah.
But for you, that's just fine.
本一ドラさんハネマン
A big hand.
Yeah. And at some point, you're going to go down to a lead that's like 28k, and you're going to say, I may as well be in fourth at this point.
Well, I mean, when you're in first with less than 30k, that's not a lead,
Yeah,
because the game can't end.
it's a lead. I mean,
17, 8 mon, 1 so.
本です
Okay, I had 6 shapes, and the 4-6 was. I mean, it has more upgrades than the 2-4-4 does,
本です
but the 2-4-4.
本ですよ
already a tempo.
Yeah, they have 2 calls, so and they're toy as
Yeah.
well.
Oh no.
Oh, and
there
I
we go.
do it.
ロン
All right, well, hold on. So let's step back. Let's step back here.
Yeah, okay.
初トイトイ
Yeah, I don't know if that was just too fast.
Right, and I don't know about my decision to discard the 4-6 peen either. So let's go back to the 4-6 peen, especially since it's not far behind the deal in. Okay, so I'm looking at my hand. I've got 6 blocks. I have the closed north, the 3-4 so, the 6-6 so, and then 2-4-4 mon, Haku, Hey.
Yeah, so
And I chose to discard the 4-6.
yeah, I guess you were assuming you may be able to call the Haku, and then you'd have like discarding this would leave you with 5 shapes, something like that.
Okay. And Raisin says the 4-6 is fine. And looking at it, I mean I prefer the 2-4-4 because that complex 3-tile shape, like there's complete with the 3 mon or the 4 peen. So then let's fast forward 2 turns. They have a problem with the 3 so discard. So what do I draw here?
Wait, you drew the 3.
Oh no, I made a call. I didn't draw anything.
Oh, yeah,
I called the Haku.
Oh yeah, you call the Haku.
Right.
And-
And so
This is what Rishi Book 1 says to discard. And that's probably why. But for Honitsu, you would want to discard these, I guess. Is that the idea?
yes, for both Honitsu and Toy.
Yeah. But for this is a pure efficiency discard, but this is for a bit more value.
Right. Yeah. That is exactly what happened. I made the pure efficiency discard, but the best discard for value would be the 2 mon.
Yeah, and it's not like there's a huge difference in efficiency. Like discarding the 4 here. If you discard the 3 mon, you can still use it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, if you discard the 4 and you draw the 3 mon, you can discard the 4 for, or you can discard the 3 for the Yamen weight.
Right, but the thing to discard is the 2-mon to keep Toy Toy alive.
Oh, okay, yeah, either way. Yeah, I guess. If you're gonna, are you gonna pawn any of these though? Or I guess you could draw them, but.
Yeah, I'm gonna pawn them. I mean, my hand's already open. It speeds up my hand.
But isn't it very unlikely that you can pawn the 3 of the 6? I guess it's really early.
That's true. One of the 6s is already gone.
Mm-hmm.
They are all middle tiles.
Yeah.
So I guess that might be part of the argument, just not expecting people to discard the middle tiles.
Mm-hmm.
Raisin says that the 2 discards are 3 tiles different. 3 tiles different being less significant efficiency-wise, whereas the difference in value is very significant because it's 2 Han. The difference between having a 1 Han hand and a 3 Han hand. Or if I draw a 4-so and can get rid of the 4 mon, the difference between a 1 Han hand and a possible 5 Han hand.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's something to think about.
And especially because, like, what ends up happening is, you know, I end up at 28k here. I mean, because I deal in. But even if, say, someone sumos, right? Like, this is not a huge lead.
Yeah.
I think if I had 50k...
Yeah, if it was South 3 instead of East 3 or South 2 or something.
Right.
Then maybe you go for, like, a really cheap hand.
But that's true. I mean, because in my mind, I don't spend as much time even as you do thinking about the value of my hands. And the Dora is the 5S, Raisin says. So having as many tiles near the Dora also is good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Right,
so I
right.
need to be thinking more, which goes into this value proposition, right? Like,
Yeah. So yeah, this is I think both of us tend to be way more focused on efficiency and not incorporate, so it's the win percentage rather than the win percentage times the average score, which is what matters, like, on the east side.
right. Thinking about, and this is weird, us both having multiple degrees in mathematics, like, we should be
do we
thinking
both
about
have multiple degrees in mathematics? It might just be you who has those.
Oh, well, you have a PhD. A PhD counts as like 3 degrees.
Yeah.
So, like, we should be thinking more about just expected value, not just pure, like, efficiency. Like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
that's a really...
Yeah, that's definitely something that we need to think more about, because it's so much easier just to think about efficiency, and I think we're both still at the stage of trying to bring all this theory together. So.
Raisin has tossed us a bone saying that we're fighting against a hand with 2 calls, so speed isn't a horrible thing.
Yeah. Right.
But I do think that is I think I did not think about that at all here, and that's a bigger issue than the actual play.
Yeah. If you could argue against it and saying, yeah, I thought about that, but as I do this, it's more just like, oh, right.
Right, I didn't even know it. So now let's go to the dealing.
The dealing. So let me just go back like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a sushi tile, and like it's turn 6. So I don't know if there's much you can do here. Like, this is just bad luck, right? Although they're going toy or something.
Well, I don't know they're going toy,
Or
but perhaps the fact they were willing to call the 1-mon before they called the Hatsu signifies it might be toy.
Yeah. So this, like, that Suji may not be that meaningful, especially if they're going for an outside hand or something. It may also not mean anything. Well, they discarded the 7, but I don't know.
Yeah, they could be discarding the 7 from, say, 778.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that, and they've tossed, I mean, their 5 discards in a row are 7 Peen, 7-so, 6-so, 5-mon, 7-mon.
Yeah,
and
that is a little spooky.
if the 1-mon had happened after the Hatsu, maybe it's less obvious toy, but I think I think I need to recognize that as a very likely toy with that one mon call before the Hatsu.
Yeah. Well, doesn't this look more like an outside hand, like Chanta discards? Is there a reason to think that this is Toy particularly?
Perhaps not. I mean, as Raisin has said, not a normal hand, and with those discards, not Honitsu either.
Mm-hmm. So basically, this 7 might make you think that the 9 is safe if you think it might be Chanta. If you're thinking it might be Toy, then basically you could just fold and put down the north. But
am I
fold here? Like, do you push?
Yeah,
your fold
I'm not.
Here?
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna fold here. I mean, it's turn 6.
If you push, you have to put down the 9, right? What else can you do?
Yeah, I have a fairly wide ish on 10 that I can call a load of shit for. Like, yeah, I think this is just going to be a deal in, and that's what it's always gonna be.
Yeah. It's just bad luck that they happen to have this Shampoo way here. There's nothing really to. And on turn 6, what can you do? Yeah, so maybe we should just move on.
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see here.
And as Raisin points out, you can't. It's hard to like pure fold against Toy anyway, since basically everything becomes dangerous.
Well, you could put down a pair and so on, but
right. I mean, even then it could be a Tonki weight, but
yeah.
The fact remains. And this is the hand where I did 100% say, well, I'm in last now. Which is just a bad attitude to have. This hand is not horrible, though.
Yeah, but this hand up here and this one over here, it's hard to race. It's hard to race these people who just start out in Ishan 10 somehow. Probably still not out. I think now they are. No, this is. Yeah, I think this is Ishante now. Oh, and look at this.
Yeah, they're waiting on the 7 mon.
Yeah.
Oh, and they just improved their weight. Shenpon on the 3 mon and the 5 sto, and then they draw the 5 sto.
Yeah, I remember this person kept getting a Sumo as dealer. Are they gonna get it like another one after this? Okay. Is there anything we want to look at in that hand?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's anything I want to look at on that hand. Like, I
feel like they're kind of zoned out here. Yeah, it's just like it just seems like they had fast hands and they just won, and you couldn't develop yours, so not really much to talk about.
That's pretty fine.
Yeah, there's no no real decision point there, I feel like.
Raisin says that was a bad Dama.
So wait.
That they just did. Yeah, go back the 1 click.
Oh wait, yeah.
That they should have. So right. they were in Tenpai twice. Was the first Dama bad as well, or just the second one? Because they had upgraded their hand before that.
Yeah.
So I feel like before this they were also Tenpai. They had a. If you click back, 3, 4. 6, 8, so 1 turn forward. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, 7, 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. Alright, so their Dama here as well.
Yeah, so this is on the 7 on the Simple's hand. So
okay.
They could reach you this for the 3 Han hand as dealers, yeah. So that'd be like 8k points. Probably won't sumo that. People probably won't put it down, right? So I feel like probably the Shampoo is what you would want to reach you, right?
Well, but Raisin is pointing out that so North,
dealer, yeah.
and North put down the early 9 mon, and West has discarded a 5 and an 8. So
Right. Yeah.
the
there's
the
a lot
mon
of
might be more likely to come out because of the tiles in the pond.
right. Yeah, I have to admit, like, I feel like this is a bit beyond me. The decision to reach you on a 7 mon. When you should
Well,
do that
that is
exactly. It's definitely worth it. Like, it's the value is worth it, but
And I mean, like,
it's
and I
fairly
think
early.
I think both of us have a bad habit of like really devaluing Kanchan weights.
Yeah.
But all 4 7-mon are still out.
Yeah. This is very hard to upgrade this. Dixon, they do manage to upgrade it to a Shampon, which it's like not that much better than the weight they have.
Yeah, even the Shanpone is just. I mean, it's still just 4 tiles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's a good thing for me to hear.
Mm-hmm.
That is the kind of like Kanchan weight that you want to insta-Richi. Like you have the red 5, it's all simples. There's Manzu in the discards.
Yeah.
Noticing that sort of stuff and taking advantage of it, I think
and how early it is, and how no one else is. And what about the? I guess the Dora are concerned. Did they? Oh, they came out already. Okay.
Yeah. Well, they can. Yeah, they can draw the 5-mon to improve this. The
Sure.
2-mon or the 5-mon would improve them to really good Ryamen weights.
Yeah, but so that seems like a trap though, because it's like that means that you're a really bad Ishan 10 for a better weight, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like.
But you're a dealer. Everyone probably like if people just fold against you, that's fine too. Like.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So as dealer, 2 Han.
Yeah.
The Kanchan's totally open.
Yeah, I feel like that's the main thing, is that given how early it is and how no one's opened, if you reach here, and I guess looking at the discards, like, there's nothing to indicate someone is in Tenpai, right?
I don't think so. None of. I mean, I've only discarded terminals and honors.
So if you reach here, then probably everybody folds, or most people fold. So you have a chance at sumo, or you just get a few thousand points, and then you get another dealership. Or, I mean, you have a significant chance at sumo anyway. Like, not huge, but probably like 50% or something. Given.
Oh, now you're just making up numbers, Bill.
Well, there's 4 tiles. People probably don't have 7-mon here. You might have some. If there's like, it's maybe better than 50%. There's just a decent chance.
No, yeah, there's a decent chance, and that's the point you were making.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good thing to think about. And Raisin now is doing math in the chat.
I think that it's just so easy to be hurt by a bad Rishi that gets you hit for a Baimon or something, like that could put you off it for a while.
Yeah, I think the Dora Chun being in the discard, I think is another big reason.
Yeah, and you being the dealer, and it being early, and it being a hand with value, and there being these mon tiles out. Probably it could be significantly worse than this and still go for the Richi. Maybe like twice as bad as this and still go for the Richi.
Okay, so they Dama that, and then they choose to just continue Damming once they go to the Shampoo weight.
Right. And sure, yeah. So okay.
So we can probably hop to the next hand.
Right. And another thing is that there's a very good chance that if they sumo that, they could get like 12,000 points from that. So it's like.
Oh, with like Ura.
Yeah. So or Ipatsumo, or like, you know, or if they roan someone and get over, you know, whatever. They can just manage to get a 12k out of that. Sorry, let me hit play on this.
Look at all these beautiful honors I have.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah, and I'm really not a fan of Chanta, just in general. I mean, I do immediately pull in that 9-so, but then I pull in the 9-mon. So maybe I should have kept these honors and went for Chanta, but again, favoring more of the pure efficiency.
ポン
Yeah, and that's another thing that I question is when should you sort of give up on a normal hand and keep honors in hopes of getting something from that.
So now we have the Ryokan Shade, and now they're Tenpai. And I followed their tune that they discarded. What are they Tenpai on? Waiting on the 5 mod? Oh. 5 mod.
Waiting on the
Peen.
2-8.
Those are Peen. Yeah, they had those two. I feel like I might have. Oh right, this hand I determined I was never ever going to discard the 1 Peen or the 2 Peen.
Right. Yeah.
And I was trying to build around that.
And I think they're just gonna Tsumo here and get that Hanemon.
And now I'm thinking Itsu. I discarded the Doro, which is safe against them. Right, and if I'm gonna get the Itsu, the 7-mon has to be my pair.
Yeah.
Definitely not throwing the 1 Peen. Until now.
チ
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
no,
avoid
Cheating.
it. No one deals into that. They don't get that, like, what is that? Is that a Baimon?
Oh, that would just be a Hanemon, wouldn't it? Or is that a?
What?
Oh, that's a Toy Toy. Yeah, that's a Baimon.
Toy Toy Tanyao Chinitsu.
Somehow I didn't realize that was a
Akura.
Toy Toy. Okay. Okay. Fast hand over here.
Oh yeah, and they get the tunes in the pocket.
Yeah, I'm into this hand.
Yeah, there were 2 Norths already discarded, so I was equivocating between the Hamitsu and the until now. Right, I draw the 4, so
Oh, and this was the one where you skip on the chi, and later on regret that.
yeah, because I needed more time to think about what the hell was going on. So now there are 2 easts right there. Let's pause on that on the 6-0 when they discard the 6-0.
Can I go back to?
So
I can
so
stop.
yeah. So the little, like, the buttons that look like the old skip buttons on DVDs.
Oh, these ones go back about 1 turn.
Yeah, not 1 turn. They go back like exactly 1 like animation. So like
Oh,
1
right.
draw, 1 discard, 1 draw, 1 discard.
Right. Okay.
So if you click the 4-1 now, that will be when the 6-0 was discarded.
Ah, okay, I see.
Okay, so should I have called this G here? I have 1-1, 2-2, 3-4, 5-6, 7-7, east. 2.
Right. So if you call this, it will put this 5, 6, 7. So you'll be left with a 3 with a 3-4 and then a 6-7, right? Is that correct?
If I did 5, 6, 7,
Yes.
then I would be left with 1-1, 2-2, 3-4, 6-7. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
which I think that's probably good.
Yeah, I mean that seems good to me. Does that improve your Shanten? Like, it seems like it must.
It seems like it has to. Because my Shanten right now, I have the completed 1, 2, 3, the completed 4, 5, 6,
Mhm.
the waiting to be completed 1, 2, the waited to be, or then a pair of 7s,
Mhm.
and then I have no 5th block.
Right.
Still.
So that just completes. That turns this. That just completes this 4. It turns this 4/5 into a 4/5/6, and leaves you with a 6/7/7. Right. So.
Yeah. Raisin says just call the ball. Just start. Just any time a so comes up, and you know what? That's another thing. Like, it's so hard. Like when you have, like, I can see so many so tiles already. The chances that I'm going to draw so tiles is less likely than any tile that's not a so tile.
Right. So the thing with this, what I'm thinking is, like, if you call this 4/5/6, and you're left with the 6/7/7, you can then chi another one, or you can pawn the 7s. I mean, if they actually come out, theoretically you could. So, or you could just draw.
I feel like calling the 5/6/7 that you suggested first is better than the 4/5/6. Because then I could have pair of 1s, and then the 2, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Blocks.
Hold on a second. Right, yeah, that's correct. Yeah, 5. That's what I suggested first. The 5/6/7, and then you're left with a 6/7 and a 2, 3, 4, and you just have an extraneous 2 here, basically.
Or think about it as a pair of 1s, a pair of and this is Raisin just suggested this in the chat as well. A pair of 1s, a pair of 2s, a 3/4 Rhiannon, and then a 6/7 Rhiannon, and then obviously the called 5/6/7 is the 5th block.
Yeah. That was the first thing that occurred to me to call, and for some reason I completely forgot that it existed a second later.
So I should take that. Call the 5/6/7, dump the 1 peen or the east, or the Hatsu. There's 2 gone of the east and the Hatsu. So
yeah, and at that point there's 7 different so tiles you can draw to improve the hand, and a bunch you can call. Like the one you might. Well, the ones are. One of them is gone, but theoretically you could call the last one. So.
Yeah, part of the problem here was I wasn't thinking about that as like a 5/6/7/7. I was thinking of it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pair of 7s, and not twisting the image of the hand in my brain. Okay, so that's
too hard.
Flush hands.
Why did Mahjong have to be so hard sometimes?
But that's a shape to look for.
Yeah, so let's move on. Now, I remember how this goes. This just never develops properly after this missed call. So that's unfortunate. Especially because this is a Haneman.
Right, with row 5.
Yeah, it's so nice when you have a full flush with a Dora in it. Because a full flush that's worth 8,000 points just feels kind of piddly somehow. But yeah, you called the 2s. If only you had called that previous one. But you might not have gotten the 2s if you called it either. So.
And then they conned the tune and gave me 2 Dora.
Oh yeah. Did they con into? Yeah, they con into Tenpai.
Yeah, and then called Ricci.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the slowing down of the hand by not calling that chi earlier is the main thing to take away from that hand.
Right. I don't think this would have completed no matter what, but that was a good chi to take, I think. Yeah, that's something to, Raisin saying 5/6/7/7 is a basic calling block. I don't think that's theory that we've really read. Like, what are the blocks that you call and how do you call them and so on.
That's true. It's not in Ricci Book 1, and the sort of Spark Notes style of that translated book messes with my head. So.
Yeah, have you looked at the later sections of that at all, or did you?
I have. They're the exact same. Like the author does things like listing. I wish I knew the name of the book so I could say what we're talking about. Do you know the name of it?
No. I only know that you find it by searching for Princess something or other mahjong book, comic book.
I have the link available to me like right here, so I'm just gonna throw it in the chat real quick. This one.
Yeah, it's a book that was translated by someone that's the and I forget the name of the author. I always forget the name of the author. But I was reading another of his books that's more accessible, but it's in Japanese, and I do not read Japanese. I only try to.
So this book, someone translated and put on the internet for free, and I've tried reading it. I've tried reading it a couple times, and just like there's these sections where they do things like even in the later sections, they're like, okay, it does bullet points, and it's like, all right, like in this section, it's a long discussion of this other book, but the main points are Ricci with this many points, Ricci with this many points, don't Ricci with this many points in South 3, do Ricci with this many points in South 3, and no shade on the person who translated it because they did it for free and translating is very, very hard.
Mm-hmm.
But reading bullet points of what you should do does not help me near as much as the reasoning does. Yeah. So I really fell hard off of that book, even when I skipped the 90 pages of shape talk.
Yeah, maybe at some point we can delve into that again and try to do like videos around it or something that make it more accessible. Just the fact that we're like writing up notes and so on.
That might be a good idea. Maybe just trying to discover the reasoning on our own, taking their points one by one, and over the course of 3 years figuring out what the hell's going on. But anyway, let's continue.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
And now I'm dealer.
Oh yeah.
I think I want a fast hand here.
Yeah. Well, this looks okay. Got this Novitan. That's about it.
Immediately discard the Dora. I've got a lot of shapes. I've got a lot of really efficient shapes in hand on dealer.
Yeah.
No ways to incorporate that Dora as is. I don't want to have to discard it later when it's dangerous.
I think maybe you're gonna try and drop these 9s to try and get the symbols.
That sounds like me right now. Yep.
The closed symbols because you want to get like a manga. Oh no, you
Nope.
open.
I open it.
Yeah.
Why do I?
You just want to get to the. You want to get another dealership.
And it was already the end of the first row.
Yeah.
It was the start of the second row, and I was still 2 Shanton, and that call made me Shanton.
Yeah.
Is why I took that call.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And now I'm Tenpai.
Yeah.
Waiting on.
I think
Yeah,
it's.
I immediately get it.
I think it's arguable. I think maybe if you look at the discards, you may feel in some situations that you don't need to open there, that you can go for the expensive hand when it's just the end of the first row. I'm not sure though.
Well, it was turn 8. It was the second. It was the second discard. Let's see. Raisin says to cut the 4P instead of the 2 so. So let's go back to that.
Hold on. Okay, where is that? Is that the end? At the end?
The 2 so 1 turn back.
Okay.
Here.
All right, so cut the 4P instead of this. So keep the 2 so on this skipping shape.
Right, and this makes sense because I can't use the 4P anyway. I mean, the 2P is pretty much for the most part locked in as my pair.
Yeah, you can just drop this.
It's not adding anything to my hand. I'm not going to magically draw in a 3P and then for some reason make the 6. So,
and if you drop this, you could even end up in Puritan, right? At some point. Maybe not, because it doesn't really.
Since I am Ishanten, I could end up in
Well, you would have to deliberately do it though, or do it by accident.
Right. But the 4 peen adds nothing to the hand, whereas the 2-so allowing to still accept in the 3, and then can discard the 6-so for the Sanmin-chan wait.
Yeah. So that absolutely, that makes sense. And you can draw on the other side as well.
So good catch from Raisin there. That the 4 peen is a better discard.
Yeah, basically just the 3-so I think is what you get from that. But yeah, that's a good comment. So let's go on to the next one. Immediately dropping Dora.
This is the hand. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So pause. Where we're at right now.
Yeah. So I guess.
I guess so. Something I want to think about, just as a human, is I'm dealer, and on the literal first discard, I believe, on the literal first discard, North calls the pawn of Dora Norths. How does that affect the way I build my hand? Right, like I'm already Ishanten, aren't I? Or am I 2 Shanten? I'm 2 Shanten because I don't have 5 blocks when you count the 2-so as my pair. But this isn't the worst 2 Shanten in the world.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like it's pretty close to me. But yeah, I mean, instantly having this instant Mangan here.
Oh, and Raisin is pointing out the reason it works, that other shape works so well, is it's a hidden Ryoncon, because it's you think of it as 5, 6, 7, and 2, 4, 6, which I'm just realizing what they wrote was in reference to the shape before. But yeah, and confirming this is 2 Shanten because we don't have the 5 blocks. But this is like, if I I'm not thinking fold yet, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because I mean, their hand is not Tenpai either. Like my hand is likely faster than theirs, even with that one call. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense not to fold here. I feel like, because the chance that you're gonna deal in seems like it's pretty close to like 0, or 1% or something. If you just start dropping stuff in the first row.
But there's definitely going to be a time where I should fold. So let's see if we can get there. Let's see if we can identify it.
Yeah.
It didn't accept that. Yeah, there we go. Don't want E19.
We can also see if everybody else is folding or not.
All right, and now we're Ishanten.
Oh, and they've got these two. I don't think they ever call those or ever get a chance to.
Okay, and now I abandon the 8-9 Pinchon for the 4-5 Ryeonman, and immediately draw the 7-so, because of course I do.
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
I was upset about it, but that just happens sometimes.
Yeah. And now I feel like it's starting to get a bit late, especially now that call, like.
Yeah, let's pause here.
Yeah.
So they discard 3 times from their hand. So they're consecutively discarding from their hand, and they're not terminal tiles. So, like, I'm a lot more convinced that some sort of direct improvement is going on when they discard 8s and 2s than they are when they're discarding Haku and Hansu.
Yeah.
They discard from their hand 3 times, then they sumo giri. So maybe even at that 8 peen is where we should start to be concerned. Since they did 3 Tadashi and then a sumo giri. But once they chi, so they've done all this sumo giri, they chi, now it's probably time to start folding.
Yeah, I feel like it's South 1. The bad thing is that they're gonna take some points from me with sumo, but you'll still be in second place going into South 2, and the game could be over pretty fast from there.
Right. Well, and when you're thinking about the sumo consideration as dealer, like, how valuable you think their hand is matters a lot. Because we can see they have a pseudo Mangan. Like, they have 4 Han.
Yeah, you could.
So, well, I guess a sumo doesn't even matter. They're open, so sumo doesn't add any Han.
Yeah, I guess you could. How about dropping this 5? Like, would that be crazy to do? Given that it's Nakasuji.
Raisin suggested dropping the Tuso, since the Tuso is 100% safe.
Yeah. I feel like that's the obvious thing to do. Drop the pair of Tuso and see what happens. And if you really want to fold, like, at that point, you just start dropping all your West and everything.
This might be paranoid of me, but I'm a little, when there's 2 like consecutive discards, I'm a little bit more concerned about the Nakasuji, because I'm picturing in my head the 2-4-6-8 shape, and they discarded the 8 to get down to a Ryoncon on the 2-4-6, and then they called the Chi and then discard the 2.
I always call that a Sankan. I don't know if that's an actual term.
I mean, Sankan makes sense.
Yeah.
The all evens shape, maybe.
Yeah.
So I would be concerned there with the Nakasuji being a trap, which is why I think I would not want to discard the fight.
Yeah, and I guess the only reason I even think about it is because I know we're both have such a defensive mindset that I don't want to avoid thinking about it. But yeah, definitely dropping the 2, so it seems like what you want to do. Like, because it doesn't hurt your hand that much even to drop a pair, because you got another pair.
Right.
It doesn't kill you. Obviously, it hurts your hand, but it doesn't kill your hand. So, and then at the start of row 2, you could conceivably get back into Tenpai pretty easily, and just drop safe tiles.
Yeah, there's still 11 more draws.
Yeah. So, yeah, that seems like an obvious thing, and I guess we should keep playing it.
Yeah. I don't fold.
Can we face the reality of this hand?
I looked at this hand and I was like, I'm perfect 1 away. I'm perfect 1 away, bish. and I just pushed. And my hand's only worth 1 Han. That's another thing that just makes this an absolute crime.
Yeah.
This hand is worthless. Like, even though it has a wide acceptance, who gives a shit? Like, and the 3s and the 6s are gone. Like, yeah, that was inexcusable.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad we found the point where I should have folded. Like that's like one of the biggest things I wanted to know.
Yes. We can excuse this too with a tilt. The tilt mindset.
The tilt mindset not letting me fold. I don't think I fully like thought that all the way through about the fact that, hey, they have a Mongon and you only have 1 Han. Like,
yeah.
you really need to back the fuck off here. And then I don't know that there's anything of note for the entire rest of the game, because it's all like, I think the Saint wins every hand for the entire rest of the game, like on turn 5 every time. So yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and Raisin is pointing out that that the tiles that were discarded up until the 1 peen were not particularly dangerous tiles.
Yeah.
But since the 1 peen is near the final Tadashi, the 2 peen, that it was especially dangerous.
So we got kind of distracted here. I should probably step back and see what happened here.
I did deal in with a Dora, didn't I?
Yeah, I mean, that seems spooky.
Yeah.
I
was in full tilt. I made the statement after the game that I thought maybe the only hand where the tilt like really affected me was the hand where I was like, fuck it, I'm going Nagashi, but I was wrong. I never should have discarded this Dora here. I probably should have discarded Dora the first time.
It did pass before, but yeah. When did this call come? Okay, so it came then.
Well, just hit play so that we can see who. Well, it's got to come from the other person, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. It's not especially spooky the first time I discard the Dora. Now it's more spooky with the
and even that 3.
Even that 3 I shouldn't have discarded. You're right. I mean, because they discard the tune after that call. Which makes it feel like it could be a Honitsu. I mean, it's not a Honitsu, but like
Yeah.
You're right. I should 100% have been way more scared of those tiles there.
Yeah, and I feel like in this whole hand, you kind of may have had an attitude like you really wanted to get first place to like counteract the previous game, especially starting with a big hand.
Yeah, and Raisin is expressing surprise over the first Dora discard. I think again that was a pure efficiency discard.
Yeah.
Like go back to it real quick. Like we don't need to linger on it for long. But
right.
Yeah, I guess that's when I cut it. So
yeah, and Sakagiri probably.
Oh yeah, Sakagiri. My ye old Sakagiri mindset. 2, 3, 7, 9, or 7, 7, 8. I mean, my shapes are really good.
Yeah, there is a possibility there. Yeah, I mean that's a good the Sanshoku possibility. If you can't get value anywhere else.
Yeah, that's I had not considered Sanshoku there. I think I have a bad habit of missing Sanshoku when.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about it a lot more.
Yeah, like it's really close in 2 suits, right? We got the 2-3 and the 2-3-4,
yeah.
But only 1 tile in the 3rd suit. Like that is when I miss it the most often. So that's a very good point that the Sanshoku should be in our heads.
Yeah, and in this situation, like because you could open up on like the 2-3-4 with the Dora or something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it would be a way you could actually speed up your hand, if it works out that way. At some far-flung future.
Yeah.
So yeah, it seems like you could just cut like this 9-7 or this 5 or something.
Yeah, or even cut a 6-0 like I can force one of those into a pair if I want to hold on to.
Yeah.
But probably cut the 7-9 so that it's Tanyao. But yeah, that is another very good point. That's good to look out for.
Yeah. So let's go on to the next hand here.
Put my glasses back on. I had forgotten I had taken my glasses off. I was like, man, why does my head hurt?
Yeah. I'm trying to look for Sanshoku a lot more, and it almost gets comical. So there's like see Sanshoku in every single hand, because you can almost always get it in like 4 tiles.
Drawing all these honors. I feel like on this hand I commented on that too, that there was potential on this hand, but then I just kept drawing bad tiles.
That's a good one.
Oh, that's nice. Oh no, this is the hand where I was just super pissed. Yeah, okay. Yeah, this hand, there's nothing of trying to adjudicate whatever the hell I was doing on this hand is not worth it, because I was 100% tilted and was like, I'm gonna throw Nagashi tiles, I don't give a shit. And yeah, just made bad decisions. This is why you don't play on tilt. Tilt's bad for your brain.
I don't know if probably wouldn't have mattered anyway, looking at what's happening here.
Yeah. I apologize, Raisin. There's no sense to find in my discards on this one.
Yeah, this log kind of devolves into chaos.
So that's just I need to have a better attitude.
So I think it's definitely going to end here.
But on this hand, I was actually thinking about position and shit. So the difference is 35k.
Is this so?
Yeah, I think this is the last hand.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember what happened. Like, I think you Richi here, and no, that was.
Well, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Just be patient, I guess. Oh, yeah, this Saint. I mean, I know they're a Saint, but they're also getting some great luck with these hands.
So, pausing for a second, just because I want to make sure I understand what Raisin's saying. So Raisin's saying can try for open Juchan Senshoku enough for a second. And you're talking about this hand, right, Raisin?
I think that was the previous hand. I think.
Well,
you said that earlier.
I have said. Well, the Junchan was said about the earlier hand.
Oh.
Yeah,
right,
but
okay, I'm
Raisin is
confused.
saying on this hand too. I mean, because I had the one so and the two so, and then the 2 and the 3 pin, and then the 1 and the 3 mon. So, open Junchan is 2 han, yeah,
Right.
and Senshoku is 1, so 3 han would be enough. Or even just Junchan Dura 1 even, since the 3 so is Dura. Although I feel like it'd be impossible for this hand to be Tenpai for Junchan without also having Senshoku, just with the shapes I have.
Right.
So that is a really good point. Thinking about, because again, Junchan is a hand I think about so little as an open hand.
Right. Or I mean, you could even win with just with Chanta if you hit this person.
Right, a direct hit Chanta would be enough, even open. With Dora 1.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to. In this situation, make your Yaku visible is a good thing. So like making it obvious that I'm going for Junchan, why is that a good thing? Oh, the dealer might help.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this is the same player. If they see you have a shitty, they see you have a 3 hand, they just deal into it.
Shit, I've never thought about that. Like, if I'm in that kind of lead, I do, like, try and deal into people. I've never thought about asking my opponents to help me.
That's a very good point.
That's a very good point.
Just, yeah. Can you say, please, Saint 1, can you please deal into me? Thank you. Okay, yeah.
Because yeah. But now I think, do I start pushing Tanya out to get the 3 Han I need? Why did I discard the 1 mon?
Don't.
Oh, they called. Well, all right. Well, it's over.
Tanya.
Right. It's less likely that the dealer will help because they're dealer. So like, just being no 10 is enough. They can just watch the chaos unfold. Like, even if we couldn't see that they had a really quick hand, since their dealer, Sasha Komi is less necessary, but.
Okay. Ah, boy. Well, at least that was in the 4th place. -11.
Right. Minus 11 is a lot better than minus 195 for sure.
Okay. So yeah, I think that's those are the logs we were gonna look at. We don't have more.
Yep. Those are the 2.
Unless you want to look at some of my logs.
I need to take a break. Man, we've been doing this for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so why don't we just end the stream here? And we really appreciate Raisin coming in and giving us some comments.
Yeah, that was really, really awesome. You said a lot of like super, super dope shit. So thanks for all the feedback. I really appreciate it. I'm sure Bill does too.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Even though they were my logs.
Yep. Well, I learned too. So yeah, thanks everyone who came to watch the stream and commented, and thanks to Ennui for talking with me, and to myself for talking with Ennui. So,
I'll thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay. Good night, everybody.